We'll start in Phoenix. I mean, after all of that, after all the movement we thought was going to happen, Kevin Durant and Bradley Beal still there. Yusuf Nurkic, the only guy being moved, he went to the Hornets. First round pick went with him for Cody Martin and Micic. Now you're Kevin Durant, Chandler, right? Mm-hmm. You're going back to the Suns. You now know that there were offers and they were listening to them. How are you feeling today?
I mean, look, you hear about the business all week long. Kevin Durant knows more than anybody about the business. So I don't think there's any sort of situation here where he feels awkward or uncomfortable. Maybe a little bit. I think everybody kind of has that period where you hear your names and rumors and then you're with the guys, then you're not active that night, the last night leading up to trade deadline. So kind of makes it more real. But I feel like ever since these kind of trade rumors have started, it's been Brad Beal, right? And obviously he's got the no trade clause and it's been more about him. So I feel like if there's any sort of awkward tension or uncomfortability, it's more so Brad Beal. And let's face it, Kevin Durant, he probably wants out. So I don't think it's the most awkward situation for him. I think as a business and a team, when you're not having the success that you thought you would with putting this big three together, I think it would be so short-sighted and kind of ignorant to not shop these guys. So I think KD's been around long enough to where this isn't really a story, and maybe a little bit of awkwardness when he went back today. But I think it's more awkward for Bradley Beal, if I'm being honest. You've been hearing since day one, he's the guy that's getting moved. They bring him out of the starting lineup on the bench, and now he's still there. So if there's anything weird, I think it's Brad Beal more than Kevin Durant.
Yeah, Lou, it is weird. It's the Kevin Durant and also Bradley Beal. Like, now are fans going to be weird to Bradley Beal because they know that he sort of controlled his own destiny and he's still there? Like, to me, it seems a little awkward. Are we going to get trades asked for by Kevin Durant this summer, Lou? What do you think? Make it official.
You know what? I don't know. I look at this differently. You know, once Luka Doncic got traded, I think that took the lid off of it for everybody. You know, once teams saw that, you know, certain guys are getting moved around. Well, let's hear conversations. Let's see what we can get out of this. You know, even if we have to offer a Kevin Durant, like let's hear offers. You know, now that it's an open market, it's a Wild West. Let's see what's going on out there, especially with the way that the Phoenix Suns have been playing, right? Like they haven't found that moment where you can see that having these three guys playing together makes sense. And so, you know, let me offer up some guys, or let's just have some conversations and field offers and see what's out there. Ultimately, nothing happened, nothing moved. And like Chandler just mentioned, Kevin Durant he's a pro of 15, 16 years. He's been in trade talks before, he's been moved before, and he understands how this business goes. All in all, nothing happened. I don't see a lot changing in Phoenix right now.
After all that, the fact that nothing happens crazy. Ramona Shelburne went as far as to say that the locker room situation right now is a bit toxic. So, Lou, if you're Devin Booker, because you're sort of that constant piece that people assume will be there for the long haul, are you thinking maybe I don't want to be here long term?
I don't know. That's interesting, you know, because Phoenix have done everything that they can to put Devin in a position to be successful. Like when you bring in a Kevin Durant, you bring in a Bradley Beal, to me that says that you're committed to winning. You're trying to put winning pieces around Devin Booker to keep him happy, to keep him here and make Phoenix a winning franchise, or a situation where guys would love to come play. Unfortunately, that hasn't been the case yet, even though they're starting to play better basketball. But a season and a half into this thing, you still, like I just said, you still haven't seen those moments where you feel like this makes sense. Like these guys should be on a team together. This is something we can build and grow on. And so if I'm Devin Booker, the effort is there to make them a better team. The effort has been there. You can't give them a bad grade for lack of effort. You know, the only thing that I've seen is the inconsistencies on the basketball end. Other than that, I don't see a scenario where Devin Booker says he wants to be out. I think before he says that, they may retool and try to put more pieces around him before they allow him to walk and go play somewhere else.
Yeah, and I think obviously going forward, he's been their guy since day one, right? The pieces to move would be Kevin Durant, would be Bradley Beal. You hear about the situation with Nurkic and Bud. You got to figure he was out, especially once they went and acquired Nick Richards. So that was kind of the writing was on the wall there. But like Lou said, this team is too good to be a 500 team on paper. This team has too much talent. They have depth. We thought the point guard last year, moving Devin Booker, was kind of the reason why they struggled. And now they bring in a point guard, Tyus Jones, who's been their most consistent player, playing 49 games, and they're still struggling. So I just think it doesn't work. I think chemistry-wise, basketball-wise, it just hasn't been necessarily a fit. But it's interesting when you hear the word toxic in the locker room, most of these toxic situations have been with players and coach, or player and front office, player and owner. It's not like the players, the teammates are beef. It's not like Jimmy Butler had beef with Bam or Tyler Hero. This is more of a business front office kind of situation. So this locker room being toxic, I don't know where that would come from. Obviously, you heard the Nurkic and Bud, you heard kind of the trade rumors of KD and Beal, but outside of that, I don't know any like beef with the actual players for there to be a toxic locker room moving forward. Like, trade deadline's over. This is what we got. This is who we are. They got to find a way to win games. And again, they're in the 9th seed. They're right in the play-in. They are talented. So anything can happen come playoff times, but they got to figure out something. I think that's more on Bud too, to keep tweaking the rotations and keep finding different lineups to make this team work.
All right. You said it. They're in the 9th seed. So what's the bigger probable, that they turn things around and improve and finish the season a little bit better than what we're looking at right now, or that this whole thing gets blown up this summer, Chandler?
I think both can happen. I think they can kind of shock us and win the play-in and get into the playoffs, but I think this is it. I think come this summer, I think Bradley Beal kind of looks more at his options, kind of is a little more lenient on that no trade clause. Kevin Durant, there's going to be a bunch of teams like the Dallas Mavericks who are going to want to acquire Kevin Durant while he's still playing elite basketball. So I think it's way more likely that this is the last go here of this team, unless they do something remarkable and end up getting to the Western Conference Finals somehow, which I also don't see happening anymore. I've kind of given up on that. I think it's destined to get blown up.
Man, that's sad, Lou. He's given up on that. Have we all given up on that? Feels like it.
No, we got one more lad. We got one more shot. We got one more shot. They're in the play-in right now. They're in the 9th seed. If they can find a rhythm, they can find a groove, they'll still be a dangerous team. Like, I just refuse to count these guys out because it's Bradley Beal, Devin Booker, and Kevin Durant. I can't count these guys all the way out completely. Now, they're not passing my eye test. It still look like that the chemistry isn't there. This just isn't the group that's going to do it. But if there is a team that can turn it around in the NBA right now, I think it's going to be the Phoenix Suns based on talent. Talent is at a premium. Like, that's why all of these guys are getting moved around. Everybody is looking for talent. That is a premium. And you may have 2 of the top 10 players in the league on your team. You have those guys in your building already. So when you have that, you always can put pieces around them to turn this thing around. And so for that reason, I don't count them all the way out. I still feel like they can do something this summer, maybe so. But again, they got to have a season to get it together and show and prove.
There's a chance. We're saying there's a chance. There was another move yesterday. It's kind of